In this fully fictional, dramatized alternate universe, everything erupted at once, and the shockwaves are still tearing through the sports world like a meteor strike. Because tonight, in a twist so staggering, so violently unexpected, it feels like the entire foundation of Team USA basketball has just been ripped apart. Cameras are shaking, insiders are panicking, and every leak coming out of this situation sounds more unhinged than the last. The world is watching a meltdown in real time, and no one saw it coming. Sources inside this imaginary Team USA war room claim that the moment the decision dropped, you could practically feel the walls tremble. A'ja Wilson removed. Caitlin Clark at the center of the storm. A confrontation so tense, so explosive, that insiders are already calling it the clash that shattered the dynasty. Allegedly, and remember, this is all fictional drama built for entertainment. Secret recordings are already circulating in the shadows. Anonymous staffers whispering about raised voices. Slamming doors. A volcanic argument that spiraled so fast the coaching staff had to intervene. And the wildest part. Someone claims there's a clip, a blurry, shaky hallway video, showing the moment everything went beyond the point of no return. Fans are losing their minds on social media. Hashtags are detonating. Comment sections are going feral. And the burning question on everyone's lips is the same. How did it get this bad, this fast? Because if the leaks are true, what just happened isn't a roster decision. It's a betrayal, and the beginning of a war that no one can control. What unfolded in the hours after that explosive confrontation was the kind of spiraling, uncontrollable meltdown that even the most seasoned insiders swear they've never seen before. In this fictional universe of absolute madness, the moment A'ja stormed out of that private Team USA meeting room, everything collapsed into a frenzy of whispers, leaks, and panicked text threads racing across the entire sports world. It didn't matter whether you were a player, a coach, a staffer, or some random intern whose only job was filling coolers with Gatorade. Everyone felt the shockwave hit. The first leaked message appeared exactly 9 minutes after the clash. A blurry screenshot from an unknown number, dropped anonymously into a group chat of reporters, reading only, "It got physical." A'ja lost it. Clark didn't back down. No context. No explanation. Just that. But those 9 words were enough to ignite a digital inferno. Within seconds, theories erupted. Fans dissected every syllable. Commentators started losing their minds. And insiders began scrambling to confirm whether the unthinkable had actually happened, that the tension between A'ja and Caitlin had finally exploded into something raw, ugly, and utterly impossible to walk back. Another leak hit minutes later, an audio clip so chaotic, so muffled, that people had to listen to it 10 times just to catch anything clearly. But one line, one chilling, venom-soaked line, was unmistakable. A voice that sounded eerily like A'ja's, hissing through clenched teeth. "I'm not bowing to her. I'm not bowing to anyone." That clip spread like wildfire. Fans went into a frenzy, dissecting tone, cadence, breath patterns. Was it real? Was it fake? In this fictional universe, no one could tell. But the damage was immediate and catastrophic. Meanwhile, inside the Team USA facility, an unmarked building that suddenly felt like a pressure cooker, staffers described the atmosphere as radioactive. No one would make eye contact. No one spoke above a whisper. Even the sound of a basketball bouncing in a nearby gym felt too loud, too risky, too dangerous. People kept checking over their shoulders, terrified another leak would blow the roof off everything. Then came the viral hallway footage, a 14-second clip captured by someone who clearly wasn't supposed to be filming. The video was grainy, chaotic, jittery, but the silhouettes were unmistakable. 2 figures, one turning sharply away, the other stepping forward as if to cut off the exit. You couldn't hear what was said, but you didn't have to. The tension radiating from that moment was enough to break the internet. Within minutes, fans declared it the most dramatic moment in women's sports history. Theories multiplied like wildfire. Body language experts uploaded hour-long breakdowns. Lip readers claimed they deciphered the exact words spoken. And all of that only added gasoline to the already raging flames. But the real mayhem started when a player, anonymously, of course, sent out a private message that immediately got screenshot and blasted across social media. The leak read, "Aja crossed a line. Clark wasn't scared. Coaches are freaking out. It's bad. Really bad." Those few sentences detonated the narrative into something far bigger than a disagreement. It turned into a public reckoning. A power struggle. A full-scale battle for the future of Team USA. Behind closed doors, the coaching staff allegedly held an emergency meeting that lasted well over an hour. The tension inside that room was so intense that one staffer later described it as a room filled with ticking hand grenades. Voices rose. Papers slammed. Someone stormed out. And all the while, Caitlin reportedly stayed in a nearby gym, shooting jumper after jumper after jumper, headphones in, expression locked, refusing to let the chaos swallow her. That image alone became a symbol. It spread everywhere. People edited it with dramatic filters, thunder sounds, epic music. It was instantly iconic. Aja, on the other hand, wasn't seen for hours, until a leaked voicemail changed everything. This message, allegedly sent to a teammate, was a rattled, furious monologue in which she called the decision a betrayal, and the biggest embarrassment of my career. She went on to say she would not sit quietly while being pushed aside for a rookie. It was emotional. It was volatile. It was the kind of message no one ever thinks will get leaked. But of course, in this fictional universe of maximum drama, it did. And fans absolutely lost their minds. Twitter turned into a digital battlefield. Thousands of people fired off hot takes. Memes exploded. Fan bases drew lines in the sand. Even celebrities started choosing sides. Rapper after rapper, actor after actor, influencer after influencer, everyone jumped in. One A-list superstar tweeted, "This is wild. I need popcorn." Another wrote, "Protect Caitlin at all costs." A third simply posted a wide-eyed emoji, and even that went viral. Then came the moment that truly shook the world, a leaked internal report. A document stamped confidential in bold red letters that somehow made its way into the hands of a tabloid. It didn't outright blame Aja. It didn't outright defend Clark. But it did paint a picture of growing tension, communication breakdowns, and a series of escalating incidents that allegedly culminated in the violent clash. Fans devoured every word like it was state-level intelligence. They highlighted sections. They made conspiracy boards. They demanded the footage, the full audio, the names of the people involved, anything and everything. But the biggest twist of all came from someone no one expected, an assistant coach, who reportedly sent a message to a friend saying, Clark didn't provoke anything. She actually tried to de-escalate. She said she didn't want any drama. Aja snapped first. When that message hit the timeline, the narrative mutated instantly. Aja wasn't just upset. She was portrayed as the villain in a saga spinning out of control. And that storyline only intensified when a second assistant coach's message leaked. It was shorter, colder, more ominous. The message read simply, "This is beyond repair." From that moment on, everything became a countdown. A countdown to the announcement that would either restore order or ignite the biggest backlash imaginable. Team USA officials reportedly argued for hours over the next steps. Some wanted the transcript was brutal, cold, surgical. It detailed a meeting where 4 coaches, 2 directors, and a security liaison laid out exactly what happened between Aja and Caitlin behind those closed doors. Lines were highlighted, bolded, marked with timestamps. And the moment people saw the line, physical contact confirmed, the internet erupted like a volcano. Fans couldn't believe it. Reporters were stunned. Players who had stayed silent suddenly started liking tweets, unliking them, liking new ones, which only made the meltdown worse. But it was the next section that truly pushed the narrative off the cliff. The transcript claimed that when tensions escalated and voices rose, Caitlin allegedly said, "We don't have to do this," but Aja responded with something far more explosive. "I'm done being pushed out of my own house." Those words ricocheted around the internet with the force of a detonated grenade. People debated every syllable. Who pushed her? What house? Was she talking about Team USA? The league? The fans? The media? Questions piled up like shrapnel, slicing the community into factions. And just when the storm felt like it couldn't get any more violent, a second burner account surfaced, this one posting an audio clip that allegedly captured the final seconds of the confrontation. It was muffled, chaotic, voices overlapping, but one thing was unmistakable: something slammed. Loud. Heavy. Hard. And a chilling gasp followed. That clip alone set off a frenzy that spiraled into global headlines. Commentators were practically screaming into their microphones. Fans created entire documentaries overnight analyzing the thud, the tone, the echo. Sound engineers started posting breakdowns explaining what the object might have hit. A wall. A locker. A chair. No one knew, and that only made the madness grow. Meanwhile, Aja went completely silent. No statement. No post. No denial. Nothing. Caitlin, on the other hand, unintentionally poured gasoline on the fire when someone captured footage of her leaving the practice gym later that night. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't talking. She wasn't reacting. She had her hood pulled up, her bag slung over her shoulder, and her entire body language screamed one thing: exhaustion. And that was all people needed. That clip alone became the symbol of the entire scandal. Fans claimed she looked heartbroken. Others said she looked scared. Some insisted she looked like someone forced into a spotlight she never asked for. Theories multiplied faster than anyone could keep up with. Celebrities jumped back into the fray. A famous comedian posted, "This is crazier than anything Hollywood could write." A pop star tweeted, "You'll better stop messing with Caitlin." A legendary NBA player weighed in with a cryptic message, "Pressure reveals truth." That one line alone reignited every conspiracy theory on the timeline. What truth? Whose truth? What pressure? People began analyzing his statement like it was a prophecy dropped from the heavens. But nothing compared to what happened next. Late into the night, a private group chat containing multiple Team USA players was leaked, and this time, the messages were vicious. One player wrote, "She crossed every line. There's no coming back." Another said, "We warned them this was building." A third dropped the bombshell that sent shockwaves through the entire sports world: "There's footage they're hiding. If it gets out, everything changes." That line was screenshot and shared millions of times within an hour. Fans demanded the footage. Hashtags formed instantly. Memes were created before anyone even knew what the footage supposedly showed. And then, in the middle of the chaos, an anonymous account claiming to be a former Team USA staffer posted a long, dramatic message saying the situation was 10 times worse than anyone knows. They claimed there were multiple confrontations, not just one. That pressure had been building for weeks. That private conversations between coaches had grown increasingly panicked. They even claimed that the first clash between Aja and Caitlin happened long before the public ever found out, at a closed scrimmage where tempers flared after a hard foul. That allegation alone sent fans spiraling into madness. People started pulling old clips, old interviews, old side-eye moments, creating video compilations of evidence that the drama had been brewing for months. But then, something truly unthinkable dropped. Someone leaked a voicemail allegedly from a Team USA executive who, in an exhausted voice, said, "We might have to release the footage. We can't contain this." The message sounded terrified. Defeated. Like the situation was slipping through their fingers faster than they could grab it. And then came the ultimate twist. A new file appeared online, titled simply, "The Real Reason." It wasn't a video. It wasn't audio. It wasn't a transcript. It was a collection of screenshots from internal emails, and they revealed something darker. It wasn't just the clash that got Aja removed. It wasn't just one argument. The emails suggested months of escalating tension, warnings, attempted interventions, ignored recommendations, and a pattern officials said they could no longer overlook. One email read, "We must consider team stability for the upcoming tournament." Another, "We've reached the threshold where action must be taken." Another, "Multiple players have expressed concerns." And the most shocking of all, "We've protected her long enough." That line alone set off the biggest social media meltdown of the entire saga. Protected her from what? Protected her from consequences. Protected her from public scrutiny. Fans demanded answers. Theories spun out of control. Every sports channel dedicated emergency coverage to the story. Analysts, who normally kept things calm and measured, were losing their minds on live TV. But the moment that shot this fictional scandal into another stratosphere was when a mysterious account posted a single sentence, "You haven't seen the real footage yet." The internet froze. Because the implication was clear, whatever had leaked so far, the grainy videos, the audio, the transcripts, was nothing compared to the bombshell still hidden somewhere in the shadows. Comments exploded instantly. Where is it? Who has it? Why hasn't it dropped? What's on it? And then the real panic started. Verified reporters began tweeting things like, "Hearing something massive is coming, and if what I'm being told is true, we're about to see a complete collapse." One even wrote, "I'm shaking. This is historic." And as the entire world waited, refreshing their screens, bracing for an impact that felt inevitable, a new leak finally appeared. 3 words. Just 3 words. But they were enough to send every fandom, every media outlet, every athlete, every executive into full-blown crisis mode. The message read, "It's dropping tonight." And with that, everything, absolutely everything, exploded again. The final leak was coming. The footage was coming. The truth was coming. And no one had any idea what it would reveal, or who it would destroy. The countdown began the moment those 3 words, "It's dropping tonight," hit the world like an asteroid. Every group chat froze. Every social feed turned into an endless scroll of theories and paranoia. Even major news outlets that normally ignored sports drama were suddenly running live tickers, breathlessly updating audiences on a developing internal crisis within Team USA. Reporters camped outside training facilities. Fans sat glued to their phones like they were waiting for a lunar landing. What was coming? Who had it? How explosive could one piece of footage be? When the clock hit midnight, the internet collectively held its breath. And then, without warning, a notification appeared. Someone had uploaded a file, labeled only with a timestamp and the word unedited. And then, the moment the world wasn't ready for. Aja swung her arm, not at Caitlin, not in a strike, but in a furious, explosive gesture, and in the motion she knocked over a metal folding chair that ricocheted violently across the floor. The crash was deafening. Papers flew. A water bottle spilled. People jumped back. Caitlin visibly flinched. That was the incident. That was the moment the leaked transcript had called physical contact. Not a punch. Not a shove. But an act of uncontrolled fury that sent a room full of professionals spiraling into panic. The footage showed Caitlin saying something, barely audible, "I'm not your enemy," before backing away, shaken but composed. Staff pulled Aja to the side, trying to calm her, but she kept pacing, kept raising her voice, kept pointing toward Caitlin as if every word out of her mouth was another match tossed into a forest fire. The world reacted instantly. Some saw a meltdown. Some saw an athlete under extreme pressure. Some saw a violent escalation. Others saw a moment blown out of proportion. But no one, absolutely no one, was prepared for what came after the end of the footage. Because the video didn't end when the confrontation ended. It ended with a conversation caught accidentally by a hallway mic right outside the door. A staffer muttered to another, thinking no one else could hear, "This was the last straw. We can't keep covering for her. It's over." At that line, the internet imploded. Covering for her? For how long? What else happened? What else don't we know? Theories turned feral. People dug through old interviews, old sideline footage, old press conferences, crafting timelines, connecting dots, building entire universes of speculation. Celebrities weighed in again. A politician tweeted a bizarre message about leadership under pressure. A comedian wrote, "This is better than every reality show combined." An NBA icon posted a cryptic three-word message, "Truth hurts everybody." That one trended globally for hours. Then a surprising twist arrived. A new leak, but this time, from inside Caitlin's circle. A screenshot of a message she allegedly sent to a friend. "I didn't want this. I didn't ask for this. I just wanted to play." That message, whether real or fake, hit people in the chest. It added emotional gravity to a saga that had already become bigger than sports, bigger than rivalries, bigger than the game itself. Caitlin's fanbase exploded into protective overdrive. Aja's supporters defended her with fiery loyalty. The online war expanded, multiplied, swallowed everything in sight. And then Aja finally broke her silence. She wasn't live. She didn't post a video. She didn't issue a statement. She posted a single sentence on a black background, "You don't know the whole story." That was it. 10 words. 10 nuclear, universe-shattering words. The internet erupted so violently that platforms lagged. People demanded explanations. Threatened boycotts. Declared loyalty. Demanded apologies. Called for accountability. Called for forgiveness. Everyone wanted answers. No one agreed on anything. And while the world was melting down, while social media burned itself alive in real time, Team USA made their final, devastating announcement. The roster was official. Caitlin was in. Aja was out. Completely, irrevocably, undeniably out. Aja didn't post again. She didn't comment.